Now, another huge mistake that I see couples counseling focus on is rehashing the problems, focusing on the problems, analyzing the problems, living in the world of the problems. And this makes sense, right? Because the mainstream approaches, they're diagnostic. I think the paradigm within a diagnostic model is that there's a problem that we have to fix. There are these symptoms that give us a label of what the problem is. And it's important, right? Because if we don't know what the condition is, we don't know how to treat it, right? If we think that we're dealing with depression and not bipolar disorder and we get it wrong, well, then we could prescribe the wrong medication and that could have disastrous effects on people, right? So I understand it. I'm not trashing that. You have to know, what are we dealing with in order to know what the cure is or what the solution is. The problem is that when we stay there too long and we have this belief that we can't reconnect, we can't solve the problems, we can't feel close to our partner, we can't really have a connection or feel happy in our marriage until we've rectified the problems. And we feel like until we can solve this, I'm not even open to connecting with you. When really the shift that we need to move out of that is to expand the positive interactions, reduce the negative interactions, and have a good time and build some goodwill in the relationship. So make it a good relationship before you tackle the problems. That's so counterintuitive, I understand. But it isn't a long-term thing. It's more of a temporary thing. We have to first come back into connection, build some warmth, build some positivity, build some trust, remember why we're with our person in the first place, and learn some skills, do the inner work. Then we can come together and talk about the problems, because we have a completely different paradigm and a completely different skill set and a different level of confidence and a different emotional state that we're coming with. We just have all the resources that we don't have when we are problem focused. What we focus on expands. We magnify that which we bring our attention to. So if you're always trying to focus on the problems, well, everything you see is going to be an evidence of the problem. And how do you then break out of that? And how do you keep hope alive? You will be filtering out all evidence of progress because you're so problem focused. And that is really sad to watch. So what you have to do is systematically expand the positive aspects of the marriage until the negative aspects become marginal. And the John Gottman ratio that he came up with from his research is 5-1, right? It has to be 5-1, positive to negative. It's very subjective, but it is measurable. And for every negative interaction, you should have 5 positive interactions. And that's the minimum. Anything less than that, you're not on stable ground. But if you can get 10-1, 20-1, then you're on solid footing. That doesn't mean you don't have negative things. It's literally like all you have to do is expand the positive interactions and you haven't even touched the problems. But if you can marginalize them first by expanding the positive, they just feel way less overwhelming. So that's why that's so powerful. And so you just have to think about, okay, what do I want? What do I want to create? What is a positive interaction? What would my partner think is a positive interaction, and how can I create that? And focus on building what you want rather than trying to navigate and be upset about what you don't want.